Now the ultimate power in the universe.
Sharing the love, spreading the light in real time. Friday night love stream.
Very happy to have a guy we instantly resonated with. Unbiased and on the fence. I'm talking about Shane C. Robinson. And his purpose is to rise above the worldviews that are designed to separate us so we can unite as one.
Sometimes you have to sort of take a step back, and I think Unbiased and on the Fence is a really, really good title for your show, because you are in the central point when you're unbiased and on the fence. That's what it means. It doesn't mean you're indecisive. It means you are taking the central point and you're seeing the multiple perspectives.
Unbiased and on the fence.
If you haven't checked Unbiased on the Fence, go and check his channel out. You might like it.
This is Dan Hofeld from Talk is Cheap, and you're listening to Unbiased and on the Fence with Shane Robinson.
If this much sincerity enters your life, come to this much. What I know, I know. What I do not know, I do not know. I don't believe anything, I don't disbelieve anything. I'm willing to look at everything. You will become a sensible human being.
Have you checked out our website?
Visit us on the web at uotf.net. You're listening to The Love Stream.
All around the world in real time.
This is Shane with Unbiased and On the Fence. You're listening to the Friday Night Love Stream.
Your calls, your stories, on air. You're listening to the Love Stream.
Sharing the love and spreading the light all around the world. This is Unbiased and On the Fence.
Unbiased and on the fence.
Oh my gosh. I am so sorry about the closed captioning, you guys. I didn't realize it says that. If you didn't notice, good. Oh my gosh. I can't believe that popped up there like that. Hopefully I'm speaking clearly enough now that I can tell you some of what you read there was not actually what was said. So, yeah, happy Friday to you guys. I tell you what, it was pretty difficult to actually edit my meditation video I just put out. Oh my gosh, I was like, I had to like actually take a nap in the middle of it. I think it's way better on a phone than if you put headphones on with the full range of frequencies. I don't know what it is, but it's pretty intense. Oh, thank you so much, Michelle. Welcome, everybody. Welcome to April. April, are you going to call in, or are we going to have another Friday night Bible study? That would be kind of cool. If nobody else wants to call, that is. Jody, what is up? Wisdom of the Lunar Rays? Luna Rose, good morning to you in the United Kingdom or wherever you are, to everyone all around the world. So yeah, I'm going to go ahead and I guess I'll start this with some Wingmakers music, and phone lines are open, you guys. So if you have something on your heart or on your mind and you'd like to share it, maybe we can get an update from Kate. I'd love to hear about how that 11/11 get-together went in St. Louis, Missouri, my hometown where I was born and raised. So hey, Teresa, welcome you guys. Let's get started. The Friday Night Love Stream. we got our first caller, Hope, calling from, where are you calling from,
Hi.
Hope?
Minnesota.
Minnesota. Oh, is it snowing there? Did you say Minnesota?
Yes, I did. Yes, I did.
Oh, wow. So it's
Yeah,
pretty cold
no.
and snowy up there, or no?
Well, actually, it's really beautiful.
Yeah, it is.
Just felt like we got a cleansing. It felt magical.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I love the snow.
So
I know a
anyway.
lot of people don't, but I dig it. So this is your second time calling in, right?
Yes, it is. Oh, excuse me. So
No problem.
anyway, the reason why I'm calling, well, I feel like I know you, so I'm sorry, but maybe in like our sleep times, like we train together or something.
That could be very
Because-
possible. I do have dreams
Yeah.
like that.
Yeah, because, and I don't remember anything, but I get shown like, you can't know, we're planning a big surprise party for ourselves or something.
Right.
But it was weird because I was listening to Michelle Wolf on Tuesday, because recently in the last few weeks, I have been led to watch The Adventures of Merlin.
Mm-hmm.
And she was going on, well, Shane, I thought you were the one that told me to watch, and I've been watching that, and like, because evidently, I heard It's You Gurus. They have a YouTube. Anyway, they said that it's coded for kind of Starseed coded or whatever, and it's one of those good shows.
Mm-hmm.
If you're to kind of show you how to work our magic or whatever, kind of a training thing. Anyway, so it was just kind of funny. I'm like, well, I've been watching that. She picked up on that, and she was saying that you were the one that was telling her. Anyway, I just thought it was kind of weird. So anyway, the reason why I am calling is because as far as I'm concerned and what I'm getting is like, since you guys all physically went to a study, something has broken open in a good way. The grids have firmed up the foundation or something like that has happened. And especially with the book and coming online and stuff like that, that's just made the Mandela thing more widespread. So
Mm-hmm.
what I don't really work with Starseed people anymore. I'm with the unconscious people. So like I watch TV shows, and I intend that like higher consciousness streams of energy go into it or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
And I pay attention to how they are speaking and like, the language they're using.
Mm-hmm.
So I was listening to a podcast about the TV show Survivor. So you can't get much more 3D than everybody dumped on an island fighting for winning $1 million.
All right.
But on the podcast, the man was saying, he was talking to another gal, and she's like, well, I've just been waiting for you to call me up and have me on your show. And he goes, well, I apologize. I wanted to have you on, but I in my mind, like a year ago, I had asked you to come on and be on this podcast. And she's like, no, you have never called me. And he's like, well, I guess it's one of those Berenstain Bear kind of things.
I love that. So it's getting
so
around,
they
isn't it?
They don't call it the Mandela, but it's out there.
Right. That's amazing.
And I watch like the shows, like I watch Survivor. The people get kicked out, and then they on YouTube they'll have like I don't know if you're familiar with the premise of the show, but anyway, when they get kicked out now, they do a little exit interview on YouTube, and it's like an 8 or 9 minute thing, and the people, like their language, the way they like reflect, and they're on a journey, and they don't call it God, they don't call it like what our terminology, but they are all going through the same process and coming up with the, let's all get along, let's be a community. And I think one of the reasons I'm being led to watch people going from being on Survivor circumstances, and then they get food and hot water, and they're just like, oh my gosh. And so the first person that is in this kicked off thing, and it acclimates to the, okay, here's what we do first, here's the food, and this is how we all do it, has to kind of retrain them into the leisurely lifestyle that we think is our normal.
Right.
So I feel like that's where we're at this precipice, and like a few of us are dropping the survivor mentality, and then we're gonna be showing everybody how to do it, and these are the protocols, and this is okay, yep, that was the old story, and she's really not your enemy. She, maybe back in the game, she was trying to cut your throat for $1 million, but here we're all going to be friends. It was just a game. So I'm really getting that vibe. And I will let you talk, but Michelle, when you were talking with Michelle and you were talking about that dream where you had you're going to go on stage, you didn't know what you were going to say, but it was okay that you didn't, and they put this puck thing on.
Right.
I kind of think like you're like one of the leader guys in the new Earth or the new. Okay, well, anyway, just say yes.
I'm a node. I'm a finger on the body, I might push a button.
Well, we all are. We all play our part.
Exactly.
We all play our part. But no, I just think like I just see greatness in you. I'm sorry. And but anyway, and part of your greatness is that you're humble, because we want everybody to be kings and queens. And like, as far as I can understand, the way the new society is going to be, like from studying like the societies of Telos and kind of the way they operate, it's like there's not just one leader all the time. Like, you take turns and rotate, kind of like Canada geese flying. Like, that point man gets tired, so then he goes to the back, and then another one. So we're all kind of rotate through. And so anyway, and I can't imagine that Michelle and Eileen aren't, like, maybe we're having trios now or something, like, because I mean, I will say, without those two women by your side, you wouldn't be where you are either.
Oh, definitely not.
You know what I mean?
Yeah. I think the Bible even says a strand of three is hard to break or something, a rope with something like that.
Oh, that reminds me. Okay, so I have a prophetic, like back when I was in the churchy days, I get called to the pastor, and I'd start getting prophetic downloads and like kind of understanding how he's going to operate in different things. So when we talked in June, I clicked into like my prophetic anointing gift thing for you. And I got shown like a vision. So I saw you, Eileen, Michelle, and Candace Krog Goldman as a constellation up in the sky, and you were stars, and you just floated down to Earth, each in your locations, except for you, Michelle was in Canada, and you were in
Tulsa,
here in Oklahoma, and but Eileen was back in Egypt, like way back Egypt.
Oh wow!
Was her connection. And Candace was hovering over the Atlantic Ocean, and she was the connection with Atlantis.
Oh, wow.
And between the four of you have worked energy, and like, so when you and, or, our group and Michelle, the Canadians, and before it was Jose, you got a big Canadian, that helps balance and harmonize and heal whatever relations with England, because Canada split away, but it wasn't so fighty, it was like, so that helped going back to like the 1700s for us, and I don't know, smooth out things with England, and then something like you and Eileen and the group, the whole group, harmonized something or healed or I don't know, with the Egyptian timelines.
Mm-hmm.
And then Candace is just floating up in the ethers, which really explains, like, anytime you listen to her, she's just like from a different whatever stratosphere. But she's up there, and something is healing, or whatever, harmony and balancing and neutralizing the Atlantean ones. So that's just what I'm getting. Take it, believe it. It's like, but it was funny that it went so kind of cosmic with my very pastory, normally churchy gift.
Mm-hmm. And so it came through like a vision or a daydream, or how would you explain how it came through?
It was like downloads. Like I would just get click, click, click. Oh, I know. So you were technically, and believe me or not, I don't know. But this is kind of like what I like if I'm walking into a new pastor and we're supposed to work together. It's like I get a whole bunch of different, and it isn't just pastors. It's kind of like head people of. I've done it with different food shelfie, kind of like altruistic endeavors that I've done. It seems like I'm called to the head person, and I get prophetic things like in how their mission, enough to kind of like have them go, oh, okay, well, how did she know that? And yeah, that's, people call me the Pied Piper. Yeah, okay. So believe me not, I don't care. But so you were being groomed to be like one of those kind of mega pastory guys.
Interesting.
And but your mother got taken out. You couldn't have done it without your mom.
Right.
So she was spot on. So basically so it was kind of like that got kind of like just kind of blew up.
Mm-hmm.
And so then, believe me or not, like Joel Osteen is not supposed to be, he's not gifted for whatever he's doing. And he will be, if you ever listen to him, he'll be the first one to say, I just obey God, blah, blah, blah. So his mom got a hit too. She was they gave her 3 weeks. She had liver cancer, but she pulled through. So he kind of took the mantle or that opportunity, but it's like a very shallow kind of, it's like more dealing with 3D issues, like God loves you, he's for you, he wants to provide for you, that kind of thing, versus, okay, let's go to the depth of our core and dig out our magic, you know what I mean?
Right.
So anyway, so that it didn't go to waste, but then this enabled you to do this more unseen, under the scenes kind of work in with, and because you were okay with the BQH and the past life thing, then that opened the door that the clearing could go to previous, like to the early Americas and Egypt and Atlantis. So believe me, don't believe me, whatever. And the thing is like you guys know nothing about it, and I couldn't call and say it because if it would skew things, like if you knew that, it would things somehow. But I was to know it and believe it. And I did, Candace did a live stream, and I was led to type it into her notes or whatever to tell her I saw that you four were stars landing up. And it was like I wanted to, like how in the Bible they say, like, they saw an angel, or like they fell to their ground and they were like,
right.
like so like enamored, awestruck or whatever. I had that, and it was just such a brief, like it was a flash, and then they cut it off because I can't, like I couldn't really take my understanding of how awesome you were and put that on you, because that's just giving my power away. That's like inflating you with somebody else's, which is what we're trying to spin away from. We're all supposed to be awesome. You know what I mean?
Right.
But we need a Moses to lead us out of the wilderness too, a Joshua and Caleb, and we got to get out of this into the promised land thing. So anyway, so I got a flash, and it was like, it made me like, it was like such an honor that I could like serve you. And I watched Michelle, and I watched Eileen religiously. Like the rest of them, I really don't. They're not my frequency, but that's kind of the gift. Like you have a wide range of acceptance and frequency, and so you can reach down to a whole bunch of different people. You can gather. And I listened to the things on the SETI. What was it? Who's the little gal that son died, and then they get messages?
Oh, Angela.
She was saying, yeah, Shane's just our shepherd, and he's just our. I'm like, yes, this is what I am getting. So enough of it has come out, and it's kind of like water under the bridge now. Like it's all happening, whether we want it or not, or whatever, in a good way. You know, It's kind of like the hunter's monkey or whoever, whatever the thing. Like it's all falling into place, and
That's beautiful. Yeah, I actually, I would say anybody that has anything to say to me, to feel comfortable saying it, because I don't outright reject anything. I just take it all and set it on the shelf and, see what plays out from it. I don't, like you said, I don't get inflated from it or anything. I'll just take the information, receive it.
No.
And then keep it there, for when it's useful.
Yeah.
So I appreciate that.
And like anything that kind of pops up, you're just like so like good at being chill. Like, well, I just know it's gonna work out. Yeah. I just feel like there's somebody that's good up there, and it's all gonna play out well, and it's so comforting. And I feel like that is one of the benefits of coming from the real right-wing fundamentalist Christian, even though it's like it's hard to break out of that box mindset-wise, like, and you know how it is. The family doesn't really, she's just gone, she's backslidden, and all that stuff. But so, and I understand and everything like that. I totally get it. So it's like a super hard one. But I think the people that are in it need like a lot of rules, because trust me, I needed a lot of rules, and I never got to come out of that box until I behave myself, and you know what I mean? But I do think that the one benefit we have versus like the quantum physics people and the more light workery people is like we have that faith in God. Like that's just built in. Like God will do miracles. We can believe for anything. Doesn't matter. God can do it. Like, so I do see that's one of the benefits of the more scientific way of coming through or up or whatever.
Yeah. Yeah, I feel like, we're all doing our parts, and really it's us that we're the ones that apply the labels. And from what I've seen, God has his people in every group and culture and everything, from what just my experience. And I was sort of surprised by that, because that's not how I was raised. I was raised that, we're the chosen ones, and all of this sort of idea, and that we're adopted into the Jews, and, just this idea of, there being God's people. And that's why I wanted to do the video about the wheat and the tares, because a lot of times that's pushed off as, God's going to pluck out the ungodly and burn them, while, leaving the other ones leading them to the storehouse. But at the same time, you begin to realize that, wouldn't you appreciate the child that goes out on a limb to really find you? There would be an appreciation for that. You wouldn't break the limb off. You can burn them for it, So my search for God has never stopped, and the church was an excellent stepping stone for me. I'm so glad I had my time there. In fact, I've come to realize that, looking back on my entire life, everything has played out just like it was supposed to, and that's what actually gives me my faith moving forward, is that I didn't get myself here, so I can just trust that if what you're saying is true, that's where I'll end up. Even I don't even have to worry about how to make that happen.
Well, I keep there's truth in the Bible all through it, and then there's some things that I don't resonate with either. But one thing, it's like the meek inherit the earth. You know what I mean? So it's kind of like lay low, just keep doing, being kind and sweet. And I watched a ton of near-death experiences, and you know, it's not like the big huge things, and it's just like the smile to somebody, you know, at the store, or, you know, you let somebody go ahead of you, you know, like the littlest tiny things. You just don't know what that person's going through, and the act of a kindness from somebody could shift the whole cotton picking thing, you know.
Oh, definitely.
But
it's really
Let's
like so much of the one-on-one stuff that, you know, we don't notice. We look at and I do that too. I'll look at the group stuff, but when I'm out and about, it's the one-on-one interactions that, you know, a simple compliment or anything can just make someone's day and shift their frequency. So
okay, I'm trying to listen, because I'm like, okay, Holy Spirit, just speak through me, and I blabbered on and said a whole bunch of stuff that I forgot all about. Let's see, but I'm trying to think of what. Oh yeah, okay, I did cover they don't call it the Mandela effect, but it was that Berenstain Bear thing, and I'm like, oh my gosh, yeah. So I'm very encouraged, like with Survivor and Big Brother, kind of the real-time things. Super, like whatever we are clearing as light workers and going through the ringer or whatever, like these people will, like on the show, will be, I have such ringing in my ears, and I just have this headache, and so they're going through ascension symptoms too. They don't know that it's anything, and they kind of, I think it's easier for them because they're not as sensitive, or like they just pass it off kind of. Anyway, so I'm very encouraged about this whole thing. Let's see now. Do you ever, have you heard of Jason Estes?
Wow, the name sounds familiar. I can't place where I might have heard him. Is he a YouTuber, or who is he?
Well, he doesn't, but he will, he does Instagram, and then the Earth Plan blog spot. Have you heard of that one?
No.
Anyway, that's a website, and she posts a lot of his stuff, and so he's like really got a systematic clearing thing, and then he gives kind of days for like influxes of energy and he's been like super spot on. He said that, so believe it, don't believe it, whatever. Like this whole last little bit here, we people that are in the know are just getting purified like super rapid quick, because coming like after I think January 10th or something like that, the 8th, 2020, he said that from his guidance, like we've gotten 1 billion people starting to wake up, and now 6 billion are going to come in.
Oh, wow.
And and I also listen to a lot of prophetic Christian people. Like I'm a weaver, I guess. I listen to a whole bunch of people, kind of basically what you do, except for instead of them calling in, I find the common threads throughout things and kind of blend them together. So I don't even know what I do. I can never charge money. I can't even know what I do. I just do it or something. I don't know. And it's all caught, not taught. So I can't, like people either believe it, or most people it just happens by being around me. But anyway, so I do watch a lot of right-wing fundamentalist Christian prophetic word kind of people, and everybody is calling for the Great Awakening. We're all starting to have the same terminology, even in like secular, more kind of
the political
things.
realm even.
So, well, I don't really touch into. I mean, I don't really go that.
Well, we can leave it at that. I was just saying they've
hole.
used that terminology there as well. That's all. But I mean, it's becoming into the.
But anyway.
Yeah.
Well, and then we don't need a whole, I can't remember the word. More than 50%.
Mm-hmm.
Hey, I must have gotten
Majority.
clear. That word went out with Mike's brain clearing. Anyway, we don't need a whole bunch. We just need enough to stabilize the grid.
Mm-hmm.
And it was kind of like once your book came out in 8/8 portal, and you guys were all at a city, like something snapped at that time. It was like the grid held, and then now it's just been fortified. And from what I was being shown, it's like you, so Eileen had a near-death experience.
Mm-hmm.
So those people have been going through kind of the same, like the Mandela, like you think you're weird, try talking about Mandela effect, or,
right.
Say the near-death people have been doing it since like way. They just in a closet, shut up, they'll tell you you're crazy, and lock you up. So they've been, but they know that there's something coming, or like they're different. So Eileen kind of threads in that. Plus, then the BQHers are another collective, and then the Mandela people. And you wove all three of those. Like nobody was strong enough individually as a group to hold the grid, but by those three groups, and they're all pretty, they're not the super high frequency where you're channeling unicorns, or, you know what I mean? It's like
right.
really close to the common people. So we can get the grid up and running, and then when we get a pile of new people waking up, they get thrown out onto the grid, and we can in an instant, pretty much clear things. I mean, because we've been tested and practicing, they'll throw all kinds of crap at us collectively and see how quick we can clear it. And let me tell you, you can I feel off, everybody's got their little tricks that they do for, getting stabilized or aligned. First of all, hooray, we feel the difference between being aligned and not being aligned now.
Oh, that's true. That's totally true now. I've got total discernment when it comes to that now.
Yeah, it's just like, ooh, I just feel like, so then we know how to get in alignment and then so that's been super, so we're all, it's going to be interesting and good. And
yeah,
good.
And to confirm what you were saying, it actually came through in a session that there was so much more that was going on behind the scenes at ECETI that was so important that we just wouldn't believe how important it was. It, for us here on the grounds, it might have just felt like this fun get together where we met all these people, but there was something much grander happening on the spiritual side of things.
Yep. Well, that's what I was getting to. So.
Yeah. So confirmation for you on that one.
Yeah. Amen. Praise the Lord.
And
so
even
anyway,
before
that's
that,
all I hate to.
Sorry, there's a little bit of a delay there. I didn't mean to talk on you. I was shown beforehand how we're all these little lights that came together, and when we got together at ECETI, we became brighter and went back to where we were. So that even came out before the session, showing how all of our lights would shine brighter as a result of the get-together.
Yeah, well, there's been quite a few things, because I listened very carefully to, like, when you and Michelle just are blabbering on about this or that, there's no rhyme or reason or whatever. Mm-hmm. And I get a lot of confirmations and like, it actually, like, they kind of go, got it, like, did you catch it,
Yeah.
Because then when I, like, well, okay, Shane, I mean, maybe all the things in the Bible aren't true or whatever, but the Word of Faith movement has made it pretty easy for us, because they've put a lot of energy and set up this whole system. And so we can still play in that and use it. And it says, Jesus said, again, truly again I say to you, unless it's Mandela changed or something, truly again I say to you, if two of you on earth agree as touching anything, it'll be done for them by my Father.
Mhm.
So a lot of times if there's two in agreement or whatever, like I'll just like amen, or I'll add my agreement, and then that helps anchor things down.
Yeah.
So I listened to you, Eileen, and you, because you don't really know it, but you and Eileen talk a lot about the rules and the culture and the standards and what we're going to allow in our new earth.
Mhm.
And like you're just like rambling on, and then Eileen wants to be in charge of the English language. She's going to tweak that and all that. Well, okay.
And we don't even realize it.
That's fine. Yeah. No. Oh no. And it's like you're like you said, you have no idea. You're just blabbing on and talking about whatever, and yeah. So it's been really very interesting and exciting, and like if it was only just confirmation, like it was just this your little group. Well, actually, I think it's a big group, but if it was only this group, it wouldn't be able to. It wouldn't have the traction. But when all of the different weird pockets of consciousness or whatever that I've never seen it line up so much. Everybody's saying, like, even prophetic, like, ministers, like they call it vortexes and the whirlwind and of God, and we call it portals, Stargate. You know what I mean? It's just it's just the words, but they're getting closer and closer and closer. So it's like one Holy Spirit. So it's pretty exciting.
It is. That's why I use the term sleeper cells all the time, because I know there's all these loving people that are just waiting for something to happen and they can come out of their shell. I know that the news might portray that, you have to be fearful when you go out, but I've seen things happen, like with Houston and the hurricanes, and people going out, taking their own time in their own boat to go help rescue people when they can. And there's lots of humane people out there that are loving and neighborly, and what's the word for it? The Bible, a good Samaritan, good Samaritans out there.
Yeah, yeah. Oh, yes, more and more. Like, every day I see it too, and just even like I'm in the midst of all unconscious people, so it's I plant seeds, and not very. And they can't help it. Like, the collective is changing. Everybody's getting nicer. Like, I see a huge difference in people. Like, and they would never say. They think what I do is weird, or what I'm like. Well, I'm just gonna sit here in the window and anchor energies. I know that sounds weird, but it's like, so they get used to like me. They don't believe what whatever. They're not into it, whatever. But they're all changing. They're all getting nicer and kinder and more aware. And my daughter, who was in college, said that this is in a University of Wisconsin system class. They were being taught in, I think it was in a health class, how the companies, the drug company, all these EpiPens, like what a big scam it is, and how the advertising is like to make you think that you could have when you allergic reaction to all this different stuff when you really don't. So they're pushing the demand. They're trying to get regular people that would in no way, shape, or form ever need it to buy all these, and basically what we all know. But like my daughter is telling me this, and she is not open to all this because it's like her mom, and I just try and be myself, and and not shove it down anybody's throat, because it doesn't help at all. But when she's telling me this, and it's from a college state-run school,
right,
something's happening.
Yeah,
so,
the word's getting out about so many little different things like that. So it's amazing, and I think the more we understand these things, and it gets into our consciousness, if you will, it just spreads to the whole.
Yep.
So like you were saying, we don't need a majority. We just need to hit that tipping point that what do you call it? I can't even think of the word for it, but you
The
just
100th
need
monkey?
Yeah, the 100th monkey came to mind a moment ago.
It's not even a quorum.
Right.
I think they found like 1% or something can shift the whole because the higher your frequency and like the more conscious you are and more intentional and heart-based, like from heart math, like isn't the heart like 100, the electricity from that 100% more powerful or something? I don't know. It's like off the charts. So this, like what you have is a heart-based grid, and it just we keep energizing it, and you know what I mean? It's building and snowballing.
Yeah, snowballing.
From Minnesota. Snowballing.
But that was one of the things that I had done the math on it before, and when you get that exponential effect, when I did the math, it would take 32 people to have enough power, because it has that exponential effect as people gather together and they strengthen each other and it doubles each time. It only takes 32 people in agreement to cover all of the population of the entire world. Just 32 people.
Huh.
That's amazing.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow.
So we don't need many at all. It comes back to that thing, if you were offered $1 a day and it doubles every day for a month, would you take that, or would you just take $1 million or whatever it is? And it turns out that it's actually more money to double your money starting out at $1 than it would be to just take the $1 million. I can't remember what it comes to now, but it's more money that way. And when you get to 32, that's when it actually doubles to the point of having 32 people having to, or covering all the population of the whole world. If 32 people can be seriously in one accord, exercising their power. So you can imagine if you just went overkill with it and you got 100 people, and then some people weren't really feeling it in the group. Critical mass. Thank you,
Shane,
that's the word I was looking for. Yeah.
Shane, not overkill.
Oh, yeah.
Let's use a different word.
Over life. Critical mass.
Eileen's not here to change the English language, but I'm here.
Oh, don't worry. They chime in the chat, or the community.
Abundantly.
Yeah, abundantly.
Yeah, well, we'll like put that out. Like maybe Eileen's, is she on the? Anyway,
she will watch this later. She
maybe
usually
put
watches
that
it with
out
her
there that we could
coffee.
get 32 people synced up tomorrow.
Yeah.
To bring the, and this is what was exciting for me too. What kind of like a revelation I had is like the pilgrims. We were celebrating and remembering the pilgrims, and they were people that ventured out for a new world. And I felt like we had this cosmic, dimensional, back in time thing going on with them.
Yeah. Yeah,
anyway.
it's a wonderful time.
Okay, well, I'll let you.
How was your Thanksgiving?
Somebody else.
How was your Thanksgiving?
Okay, well, it was just really wonderful.
That's awesome.
It was really, really nice. Like time goes by so fast, and I figured that, okay, we'll be having it at our house. I'm like, I just start in the beginning of November and like making stuff and just packing away, because I don't know what happens with time.
Yeah.
You wake up, you look, and you turn around, and it's like, what?
Mm-hmm.
So, yeah.
Well, I try to have an attitude
How was
of.
your Tuesday?
Yeah, it was on Tuesday. I try to have an attitude of gratitude every day, but it does make it's a nice time to take time to express it to people and let them know, and and of course put out a quick little meme about Stofers for people to maybe notice, and if one person sees it and they're like, what? There's no Stofers stovetop, so I see things a little bit differently, but I try to make every day a day of Thanksgiving, I guess. Just living that attitude of gratitude every day. But it was good. It was great food, and, the time with the family was great.
Yeah. I did come up with a new thing that I'm thankful about Thanksgiving, is that it only happens once a year because I also have 5 children, and this one's married now, and that one, like, trying to jog and juggle, and, well, what if we ate at this time, and then you could leave at this and drive to the next ones, and it's like, oh, my goodness. So, I'm glad we don't have to do that very much. But, there was...
That's awesome. And we got Christmas coming up soon.
There was something that popped in my mind. Well, I guess it's gone now. Oh, well. Somebody else's turn. Oh, I have been loving, who's the little gal that was the tattoo artist? And the Lynn, whatever, 3 names?
Kimberly Lynn Hansen. Yeah, she's awesome. Magical.
Oh, yes. Yes. See, she's here to teach us how to live in the magic realm, because I have tapped into that every now and then, but they don't let me stay there very long because it's like, you don't want to come back. But, yeah. Oh, yes. We are going to teach people how to live in that magic realm. It's so exciting. And that little, like, it was 11 minutes and 12 seconds or something like that, that little blip you did at the actual Mandela. Oh, I was just buzzy. It just, like, poured off of that. And every now and then I'll just re-listen to it and watch it, because they say that, like, it still carries the same energy. Maybe it even escalates because more people watch it. But anyway, yeah, that was super exciting. Oh, I know. Here's a plug for your book. I think Eileen is sending this telepathically to me. So this is what I have done with my Mandela. I bought the book, and I believe in that Mandela effect. You didn't have to sell me or whatever, and I wouldn't have bought the book, but you said that on every page you put invisible words, I love you.
Yeah.
I'm like, I love that so much. I have to get that book. So I bought it right away, came on Amazon and stuff like that, and I loved it, and I went through it and read it and stuff like that, agreed with everything. It's like, well, some of it was, like, too complicated. It's like, I just believe it, okay? I don't need all this. But anyway, but it was a big book, and then I really like the name because it's kind of like, it seems like it's a little more controversial, friend or foe, you know what I mean?
Right, yeah.
You hook a certain crowd. Anyway, so I just had it, and I loved it because it had, like, I love you on all the pages.
Yeah.
And you know what? They give off a vibe. So, so anyway, but then I knew that I had to give it, if you love something so much, and I'm not a big things person,
Mm-hmm.
But anyway, it's like, I have to plant it, and I was going to put it at this little, do you have, like, the little free libraries around in your area?
I don't know if we just have regular libraries. You got to have a library card.
Yeah, well, they're just like a little tiny box, and they're just free. People put in old books or whatever, and it's just it's like a little kid kind of thing more, but you can find anything in there. So anyway, so there was one that in a public school had a peace poll. Have you ever seen those?
Mm-mm.
Where they say it's a global kind of movement, and it's like peace in all different bunch of languages. It's like a hexagon shape, like looks like a big tall pencil. Anyway, they have this like free little library. It's a peace garden, and it was established in 1987, which is the harmonic convergence. And it's just this nice little sweet bench, and like this garden is here to bring you peace, and we want the intention with global peace. Right. And I'm like, I'm gonna go put my book there. That would do, and whatever, vibe out to all the little kids and stuff like that. But then that was what I was gonna do. But when I initially got the nudge, like, hope you have to release this, bless it and release it. But anyway, so then they had me bring it to my public library, the biggest, Ramsey County, I think, is the biggest county in our state, and with St. Paul. Anyway, they have like a little free box in that, and like books on a little shelf, like old ones are getting rid of. You can just take if you want. They're not in circulation anymore, and so I had to bring that to that library and, like, you know, just believe for quantum whatever to go through the system. You know what I mean? Because I believe that book vibes, and that's going to change all the other books and all the other things through the system.
Absolutely. I couldn't agree more.
So there. Yep. And so anyway, so people can plant them, sow them as seeds and whatnot. Plus, you guys got the download, don't you, for $1.99, the ebook?
Yeah, that's only if you purchase the print version, but it's still pretty cheap, I want to say.
Yeah, I did.
Yeah, so you can
So if people want to buy a print and then, you know, drop it somewhere, and they can still have the, you know, whatever.
Yeah, and the link.
So that's enough of my commercial.
Well, thank you so much, Hope. Thanks for calling. Don't wait so long before checking in.
Pardon?
I said don't wait so long before checking in if you have something to say.
Well, it was a weird thing. It was like I was just supposed to do it today because I've tried other times and I couldn't get through. My phone, like, it didn't have the right. I don't know. It was weird.
Divine timing. I love it.
Exactly.
Lots of love to you,
well,
Hope.
rock on.
All right,
bye-bye. Love you.
Love you. Bye-bye.
Let's go.
You're listening to The Love Stream.
Unbiased and on the fence.
So, yeah, and she kind of let the cat out the bag. We weren't going to mention it anymore, but that's totally cool. I mean, but so in the header of the book, when we created it, you know, you typically just put the title up there, but Eileen had the brilliant idea of putting "Thank you, I love you," part of the Ho'oponopono, and putting it in white ink so that it doesn't really show up. So we put up the header, you know, Mandela effect, friend or foe, with a question mark. But before that, we put "Thank you and I love you" and turned it white so that it doesn't print onto the pages. So it's like there, but not there. But we know it's there. So we're infusing "Thank you and I love you" on every single page of the book. And I think that's, like I said, I thought it was a brilliant idea. I'm sure it came from Eileen's higher self on that one. That's just too amazing. In fact, I'll probably do that on any book I ever make or put out because I think that's so great. All right, so let's see. I don't know. If you want to speak, can you press *2? I see people in the lobby, but they don't have their hands up, and I don't know if you're just listening to save on data. Okay, okay. 514, you are live. Who am I talking to?
It's Nancy.
Hey, Nancy.
Hey,
how are you?
Up?
Good to talk to you. It's been a while.
Yes. I feel like Johnny Carson. It's Johnny. Oh my goodness, how are you guys doing?
Doing wonderful. You can feel that energy coming off of Hope too, can't you?
Totally. So she was at East City?
No, I don't think she was there. She was just saying the get together.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. So what's going on? How was your Thanksgiving?
Oh, it was good. It was good. Kids are home from school, you know, which is always, you know, I just hear them in there all day long laughing and having a good time. So, you know, whenever I'm back here working in the room, so not arguing, thank goodness, because I know a lot of times they'll be fighting or something, but they've been high vibe and enjoying everything. I haven't had to go and break up any arguments or anything. I mean, it's been pretty good. So, and then of course having them around and the food and all of that has been good. So
it's been feeling like a high vibe day. I find like a lot of people I've been talking to today have been feeling high vibe.
Probably not shoppers, right? Probably not any of the shoppers. I remember going out on Black Friday shopping, and nothing to bring your vibe down like that, boy.
I was on the road a bit, but I didn't. I had to stop to get a work blouse, but I don't know. I started to feel kind of like the energy, and I'm like, okay, I'm going to drive back home now. That's enough. So I'm going to just chill at home and take care of some laundry and relax with my son.
That's a great idea.
And yes. So I just wanted to catch up a little bit, and I don't know if anyone has called because I haven't been really on any of the live streams. If anybody has the live streams has called in to talk about the Gateway Meditation in St. Louis.
No, I'd love to hear about that. Did you make it to that one?
I did.
Oh no, because Kate just hopped in. She was too busy last week to. She was just in for a second, and so she was gonna call, or I guess Rita was wanting her to call, but she didn't have time. So yes, I'd love to hear about the 11/11 get together in St. Louis, and there was a meteor. There was a meteor too there, right?
Yes. 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 I mean, really. I mean, you can't make this stuff up.
Mm-mm.
But Kate, that's so funny because she just sent me. Well, I'll tell you a bit of the story. But while I was over there, one of the evenings I wanted to make dinner for Kate, for having having a place for me to stay at her place and stuff, and to thank everybody, And she just made the dinner that I made that night. And she sent me a picture of the family at the table waving hi. So I was like, oh, it's so cool. So I'm like, I'm online now waiting to call in, and I'm going to talk about our meetup. Hey, Kate. Was the salmon as good as my recipe?
She said, yay, we're all here listening. So
nice. Is Rita there?
Yep, Rita's here too.
Rita, hey, what's up?
Who else was there?
So yeah, I was Rita, Gary, her husband, Jody, I know she's in the chat, Kate, Frank, and Kate's daughter, Lexi, and did I get everybody?
Okay, so Frank did make it out there then.
Frank made it out there. He picked me up at the airport with his nice rented Jeep that he was so happy to have and play around with, and there ended up being a bit of a winter storm over there also. And because he's from California, wasn't so used to it. Right. But it was so cool. It was so cool to be with everybody over there. It was really, really nice. And what happened? I got there. Okay, we got there in the evening. Okay, everybody was already there, and we had supper. And I'll give you like the highlights. It's so cute. We attempted a bonfire. It wasn't so bad, but it was so cold. It was so cold.
Was it colder than back home? Oh, she's saying her mom was there too. Kate's mom.
Yes, of course. Becky was there. Jackie. No, it's Becky. It's Becky.
You know what? I just realized the very first get together we had, as far as people on the channel, that was the 1 year anniversary of that. We realized that when we were on the way back, 11/11. So. That's really cool. Yeah. Oh, I feel so privileged to have been there. It was so cool. Yeah, really I wish I could have been there. And I was actually kind of sick that day. I know. But
well, Lexi and her boyfriend, Kate's daughter, they were singing out at the bonfire. It was so nice. I made a little video, so I could send it to you directly if you want to see it. Of the little trip. Yeah, so
we should have had a spot on the forum for you guys to upload some pictures. That would have been cool. Oh yeah, we could have done that too. Yeah. Let me see. The next morning for the 11/11, because I got there on the 10th. We were all there on the 10th, but on the 11/11 we didn't go to the pickle place where Jody works because of the weather, so that was canceled. So we did the meditation at Kate's house, which was perfect. It was it just worked out perfectly. And when Rita and Gary arrived, they had these cappuccinos or lattes from an Irish coffee shop not far. And I was craving a latte, so we're like, okay, we have time, let's go and pick it up. And when we got there, it was Frank, Kate, Jody, and I, and we picked up our coffees, and we saw there's a little book where you can sign your name and write the date and where you're from, right? So I'm looking at the book and I see Rita and Gary had their name on there with their date and where they're from. So we're like, oh my goodness, let's add our names, guys, so we can like document this. And you see our names there with the 11/11
2019. So that was super cool. So we went back. We showed that to Rita and Gary. So that was cute. So, I tried to set up the camera a little bit to record us during the meditation, and which was really powerful. And we talked about our experience with the meditation after it was done. And we even did a second time because Lexi didn't make it on time for the first, the 11:11. And it was Eileen that prepared the meditation for us. So it was like a private meditation specifically for that. And Eileen, apparently she had done it also at the same time as us from where she was.
So cool. So
that was really cool. Oh, yeah. And so what's cool is that we were able to do it again a little later. We did it at 12:12. 12:11, 12:12 or something, the second time around with Lexi. So it was really nice. And then I think that was the evening where I wanted to cook supper for everybody. So while I'm cooking supper and talking everybody's ear off about my life, all of a sudden, just before that, actually, Frank notices on the package of salmon that we bought the price, and he's like, "You didn't see this at the store?" I'm like, "No, it was $33.33."
Oh wow!
Yeah, it was so cool. So we had a great evening there. Oh, but Rita and Gary, they had already gone before. They left not long after the meditation because the storm was a brewing, and it took them, I think, 13 hours. They were saying to get home. Oh, with that snow, I felt so terrible.
Oh.
But they made it. They made it safe, and so with Kate, Jody, Frank, and I in the dining room, we're chatting, and then all of a sudden we hear like bang, boom, and then the sky lights up. And from where I was sitting with Jody, it seemed like it was lightning, and where Kate and Frank were sitting, they could see like as if it was fireworks. So that's what we thought it was. Kate said, "Oh, maybe because of Veterans Day," and then later on that evening, I think when everyone was going off to bed, there was a message from Rita saying, "Did you guys see the firebomb or hear about I forgot the term that she used." No, it wasn't meteor. She said something else. I forgot what it was. Maybe she'll pull it out on the chat. But we're like, "Oh my goodness!" The whole time it was a meteor, and we're sitting there thinking it was like lightning or fireworks.
Yeah.
And we're like, on top of that, it was on the 11 of the 11.
Oh,
I mean,
wow.
What are the chances?
I know. And the footage I saw of it had the arch in view, and you could see it like going right down by the arch. And I was like, that's so cool. What are the chances of it being lined up so perfectly?
So, it was so cool because the next day, I had another full day there, and I wanted to do a little touring of St. Louis. And I wanted to visit the arch, So we went, and Frank and I and Jody and Kate, and it was so cold. But it was so cool. So we got some footage. We went up in the arch also. So we had a little adventure in our little escape pod, because you're kind of going into this, what looks like an escape pod. And, it could be pretty freaky. It's 630 feet high, 630 feet wide.
Wow.
So you go up in this escape pod. It takes about 4 minutes to get up. And then you got an incredible view from the top. I was super excited because, I've always wanted to travel in the States. I've always, watched movies and certain names and stuff like that. I always thought it was so fascinating. And, I remember even when I was coming from the airport and Frank was bringing us to Kate's place, I saw Tulsa. I'm like, Tulsa? Isn't that where Shane's from? And then I see Memphis. I'm like, Memphis? Like Memphis, Tennessee?
Yeah.
Oh, my God. I was so excited. And Kansas City? Oh, my goodness. Anyway, only a girl from Montreal, Canada would be that excited, I think.
No, because when I went to Sedona, I got, I was only in Arizona, but once I got to Flagstaff, I saw a sign that said Los Angeles this way, and I'm like, Los Angeles? What? And I was so excited to see it. So no, I know exactly what you're talking about because I've never been there, so it was just exciting to see such a popular destination on a sign, on a highway sign. Like, I mean, I was still like many hours of driving away from there, but. Just like you were far from Tulsa, 6 hours or whatever. But she's saying she said a plasma ball, Rita said.
A plasma ball, yep.
And she also said, Nancy, tell about Kate's curtain rod bracket. Do you remember that?
Bracket?
A curtain rod?
I remember.
Curtain rod bracket.
I remember Frank was supposed to hang up curtain rods.
Oops.
I remember the image that she had seen in the glass window before we were doing the meditation. Was I there for the curtain rod? What happened?
I don't know. That's just what she said in the chat. Nancy, tell about Kate's curtain rod bracket. Shane. She's wanting me to.
You'll have to remind me.
So many exciting things, but I think it was a sign, though. Here we got this star falling to Earth there, and just. Our cosmic family.
So many things, and I'm probably not even gonna pull everything out right now because it's probably gonna come back to me afterwards. But I mean,
that's how it is. Drawing a blank. I went up in the Arch one time. I think I was actually married by the time I made it up there. I grew up in St. Louis, but I never went up into the Arch until I was an adult. I went down there all the time, and there was a museum between the legs of the Arch. You could go down kind of underground.
Yeah.
And I ate breakfast on the boat. There's like a boat on the riverfront. It was a McDonald's boat that you could go on.
Yeah, it was closed. Yeah, the river boat, or was it the river boat? That was closed.
Well, there's a casino too you can go into. There's a lot of little things you can go in down there. But I don't know. It depends on the water level.
They were on the Mississippi River.
Yeah.
So I was impressed with that too because when you're up in the Arch, you're overlooking one side, which is St. Louis, and then on the other side is
Illinois, across the river. Yep. East St. Louis.
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
Yes. So for me, it was like a bonus, to have visited that.
Yeah.
It was super cool. Super cool. And what else? Now I'm drawing a blank.
Oh, that's what she said. She said, and one bracket was missing. It fell out of the air. Or something.
In the dining room?
It said it appeared out of nowhere, dropped from the sky, Kate said. So maybe you could have been. I know how it is at those get-togethers. You can be talking and totally miss something too.
Yeah, possibly. Or maybe I went to the bathroom at that point.
Or maybe you shifted to another reality where that didn't happen. Who knows? Who knows these days, right?
I was so happy to have been part of that, honestly. Thank you again, Kate, for having me there. And I loved her mom. Her mom made me laugh so much. Oh, my goodness.
Miss Jackie.
I had such a great time. Yeah, Becky. Yeah. But it's Rita. The joke is they're calling her Jackie. I think because Rita called her Jackie by accident.
Oh.
So we just keep calling her that. It was super cool. And I was even worried I wasn't going to make it because my flight had been canceled. Well, one of them because there was a connecting flight.
Mm-hmm.
And I was texting Frank, and I'm like, I don't know what does this mean? I was sending him my information, and then it ended up being a different flight number. Everything had stayed in place, so it all worked out. It worked out as it should have worked out. But
yeah.
Did we ever laugh going up on the arch? In the arch,
mm-hmm.
We had many laughs going up in the arch, and I was pretending to be afraid. Like I took some footage, and I was pretending to be afraid. But let me tell you, on the way down, the escape pod did a little jerk, and I got a little afraid. And did we get? Oh no, Kate got a good picture of me. And I don't have that picture, Kate. You gotta send that to me. I don't have that picture.
Yeah, they're saying it was before you got
Yo,
there, I think. Maybe. Before you got there, the curtain rod thing happened. Oh, do they still play? It seemed like when I went up in the pod, they had like a little video showing the making of it, and it didn't make me feel any better looking at it. I was like, this isn't making me feel any better. But yeah.
I'm usually afraid of things like that, but I mean, with this group, you know, I mean, there's no reason to be afraid, you know. I just got to go for it.
Didn't they actually say
it was
something?
Fun, and
I think they say something in that video that the arch actually sways 10 foot each direction or something like that to help it flex with the wind. And I was like, I don't like hearing that this thing's flexing. But I guess if it was too rigid, it would just crack and break or something. But yeah, it's...
Yeah, if they said that, I might have blocked out so that I wouldn't hear something like that.
Right.
But we really had some good laughs, and they take pictures. And I wanted to get, you know, they set up the picture where they have the arch in the background and stuff. So, like, I wanted to have that as a souvenir. So I bought the package, and I gave them a few copies, and I've got the photo with me as a souvenir. It's so cute, though.
Yeah.
So we had a good time.
That's awesome.
Oh, yeah, totally.
Did you eat at the spaghetti factory down there, by any chance?
Did I eat what?
At the spaghetti factory by the arch?
No.
It's kind of down by the bridge, where that bridge comes across the Mississippi. There's like an old famous spaghetti factory right there that lots of people...
Oh, no, but I did get to try fried ravioli.
Mm-hmm.
I think that's what it's called, and that's their specialty, or a St. Louis dish. And but I didn't get to try the custard, though. So it's going to have to be next time I go.
Yeah, definitely. It's wonderful, though, that you guys got together. Yeah.
Oh, I'm so happy that I got to be part of it. I'm so excited. So, a few...
Go ahead.
Yeah? No, go ahead.
I just thought Pork Chop Gang, Terry, was going to be there. Did she not make it?
No, she didn't make it. No.
Okay.
I think she wanted to she wanted to, just chill more at home, I think.
Oh, I
think she might have gotten some kittens. I think I saw somewhere written where she got some kittens.
Mm-hmm.
So I got to get in touch with her. I haven't talked to her in a little bit as well. So check this out. One of these past weeks, the last couple of weeks, I think, I was driving. I dropped my boyfriend off at work, and I was in the city, of course, and I had this flash of going to visit my grandfather and my uncle, because since my grandmother passed away, I figured, okay, I'm here, let me pass by and see how they're doing,
Mm-hmm.
And I'm driving on one of the main roads in Montreal, in downtown, and I see these license plates, 999. I'm like, wow, triple number, it's rare that you see that. So, a few blocks down, I see 333. So I'm like, oh my goodness, hey, Tesla numbers. Wouldn't it be great if I got the 6th one? The 6th, I'm like, what are the chances I get that, right? In the same day. So whatever, I go on about my day. I go to my uncle's place. I help him out. They're still, because they live there, they are feeling more of the impact of my grandmother, and for me to, be there, the little memories come up and stuff like that too. So, but my grandmother has so many things that my uncle is trying to clear out and stuff. So the roof had started to leak, and so I was helping him clear out some stuff from under her bed, because she used to store all kinds of things. So that was a good little boost for my uncle too, and my grandfather was happy to see me as well. And so then afterwards I was leaving, and I get in my car and I catch the 1:11 on the clock. Okay, that's standard now. It happens all the time, right?
Right,
it becomes
right.
so regular. So I'm driving across the bridge, and I get license plates 222. So I'm like, all right, okay. It's not the full Tesla numbers, but So later that evening, I'm driving my son to his dad's place, and I could not believe it, but I got the 666.
Oh, wow.
Well, I wasn't thinking of it as the bad number, but I was thinking of it as a Tesla, right? The 9 and the 3 and the 6.
Right. Totally.
So I got them all on that same day. And
That's
triples
awesome.
on license plates. I couldn't believe that.
I always think of
crazy.
I always think when I lived in Atlanta, I had a 770-369 number, and then when I moved to Tulsa, I had a 918-369 number back to back with my other number, and it was before I knew any of that. So, in retrospect, I was looking at all of the times, and Kate's the one that's got an awesome phone number. I forgot when I saw her number. I'm like, dude, you have a great phone number. Oh my gosh, this is awesome. But yeah,
you mentioned it. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and then the 314, of course, is pi. I didn't realize that growing up or whatever, but the St. Louis area code.
Yes.
But yeah, so I've been having these synchronicities, and even my daughter earlier today, she goes, back when you used to play Need for Speed, I just saw this one time you got it was 22-22, and you're still on the leaderboard. And I was like, oh wow, it's like it's been screaming at me all this time, and I just didn't notice it because that had to have been years ago. That probably 2015 or 2016 that I was playing that game. So yeah, it's always been there trying to get my attention, but I didn't notice.
Wow, that's so crazy. And also, just quickly, because I just saw my notes. Also, that same day when I got all those numbers on my dashboard for my, I think it's the kilometers that I've done, there was a 777 in the middle of it.
Awesome.
But the numbers, they're just all the time. It's crazy. I'm in the notes that I write is actually in the book that I bought when we went to ECETI. So I have like a bunch of little notes from people from ECETI, and I've got the little Bindi sticker that Sherry had that I had on my head. I have it in my little journal here also.
Oh, that was so fun.
Yeah, it totally was. Totally. What else did I have? See, now I'm going to hang up and I'm going to be like, oh no, I should have mentioned this. But I totally called unprepared tonight.
Oh, that's all right. This is laid back. You're in good company. And nobody's waiting, so don't feel rushed or anything.
So, what else? I don't know. Anybody got a question for me?
Yeah. How's the love life going? I mean, refuse. Okay, good. I was going to say you can refuse any questions you want, but I know you've been keeping us updated on that, so I figured I'd check in and see how that's going. So it's wonderful. So the whole thing about the Bible saying being unequally yoked is really true, huh? You find somebody that's more on your frequency, and it's all good, huh?
It's wow. And
like night and day.
I can't even find the. Yeah, I can't even find the words. I don't know. I talked about it when I was cooking dinner over at Kate's. Well, I was talking a little bit about my past experience with my ex, and of course, with this experience. And Frank was talking to us about. There was a QHHT video that had been done, and the person was talking about. Sorry, I'm trying to find my words. Twin flames, but sacred twin flames and stuff, and just talking about it. And he was saying that he really wanted me to listen to it because it reminded him of mine and Brian's story, and the connection that we have. And no, it was pretty fascinating. It's literally night and day, and I really I've said it before. I don't regret my past relationship, the 12 years that I had with Chris, because there was a lot of things that I needed to learn from that and evolve to get to where I am now. Because I believe in destiny, and to connect with another person at my workplace, who we didn't even, there was nothing really, we were just colleagues that barely saw each other at work, and to kind of have this similar kind of experiences, because he had left a 12-year relationship, I was leaving a 12-year relationship, and we were both big givers, and it's just, I don't know, I can't, I'm not, the words aren't coming out.
Frank just hopped in the chat. He goes, "Hello, everyone. My ears are burning."
Frankie! Frankie, you sure get around, don't you?
So do you think so you think this is a twin flame relationship you're in now? Would you describe it that way, or you just don't know, or how do you know when that happens?
Well, the feeling that we when we look into each other's eyes, we feel like we know each other from past lives.
Mm-hmm.
And I did have a type of feeling like that with my ex as well, but I look at it like I feel like it was a soul contract, like a karmic relationship that we were meant to be together for that experience. Like I was supposed to be with him to wake me up and get me to this level.
Mm-hmm.
That's how I feel it is.
Yeah,
and
because if you and Brian had gotten together 20 years ago, it might be a completely different thing. I mean, you really build upon your experiences, and right.
Oh yeah, I don't think we would have, because he had certain experiences to live, and I had certain experiences to live, and I was no way near who I am today.
Yeah,
you know,
it's divine timing.
Yeah, the father issues that I had then, they were not cleared up yet. I had to go through all of this to get to clear that part up. And that's a lot of the work that I did that helped me to get to this place, that helped me to attract Brian at this time, was to have that forgiveness towards my father, and also the male figure, right? Because I didn't have decent male figures in my life as I was growing up. But it was to get past that.
Yeah.
So once I was able to do the inner healing, get past that, realize things that when I was a child, they were not my fault. And my dad only knew, that was the only way he knew, right? So I had to get past that and forgive that. And that shifted me. Attitude of gratitude, like you were saying before also, that's a big thing. When you live in gratitude for, and you name all the things that you're grateful for, that shifts your energy. That shifts you into another frequency, right? So even though I was still getting pulled back by Chris during that process when I was starting to see Brian and getting to know him, he helped me also to heal that, Brian. And I did read something about twin flames, or divine counterpart partnerships, and it's that you're there to pull the other one up, and it's not like it's always at the same time. It's sometimes one needs it, and then the other times it's the other one that needs it.
Absolutely,
so it's not that you it's not that you complete each other either. It's that you finally become whole in yourself. So you attract the counterpart that's also whole. So the two wholes come together, Yeah. I'm so terrible with words. I can't find. That's why I'm better with writing things down, because I have time to go over my words and fix them over and over again.
Yeah.
But
yeah, I'm the same way. I'm the same way.
You're pretty good. That meditation you pulled out before was really good.
Yeah, really, it had me running a little bit late. I'm glad you liked it, though.
Oh, yeah. I mean, and super great timing, because there's a few of us who really need that boost and that reminder that we're all here for each other. Some of us, it's hard to get through this. These energies are really, really tough, and they can bring out terrible things within us, and plus with the winter and the weather, and if there's not enough sun, winter blues and stuff can really dig at us. And because we're so far away from each other, we can feel lonely. We can really feel alone. And the thing is it's really important. And I'm going to give the message out there to everybody, that no matter what you feel alone, do not pull away from the group, because even if we're living our separate lives, we've got our families, we've got our friends, we've got a 3D life, we've got work and stuff, but we're all connected. We're a family. We came together for a reason, and we're here to help boost each other up and get through this journey, this thing that we're working on, that we're doing. You know, we have to pull each other out of that, and we cannot shut anybody out or be afraid to ask. You know, or
absolutely.
This is what we're here for. And I remember many times
system.
I was. Sorry.
I said we're a support system for one another.
Totally. And we came here with that exact idea, you know, that was our part of our reason was to, you know, be there to wake each other up, to come together, to find each other, and to remind each other, to have something that we connected together with, and we need each other on a certain level.
Yeah.
You know, so we have to remember that even if we're, you know, we've visited each other here and there, and that we're separate and doing our separate things, we have to remember that we're still here. So you reach out to anybody, you know, and we're there no matter what, you know. There's always going to be a connection.
Definitely. Yeah, and I've had a number of people dealing with fear in their life and depression. I know Jose was having a hard time. I was sending her lots of love.
Yeah.
And I
that's
just,
that's
I hate anybody to feel
of what I'm talking about.
Right. Yeah. I just hate for anybody to suffer like that and to feel alone. So I wanted something that, you know, instead of trying to do one-on-ones, because I'm just kind of spread far and thin sometimes, but just to have like a little video they can put on, you know, and just help center them, remind them who they are. And so yeah, Jose was on my heart when I made that, and a number of other people dealing with depression.
That's so funny. That is so wow. Because I was just talking to her while we were texting each other, because I sent her a message because I heard that she was down and this and that. So we're all trying to like boost her and remind her that, hey, we're here, you know. And like not long after that, you come up. So I'm like, wow, perfect timing. So I sent her the video. And I'm like, wow, listen to this. At the same time as, you know, knowing that we're all sending you love, sending you healing, and sending you prayers, and reminding you that, you know, we're here. Like, don't forget that. Don't forget that connection.
Definitely.
It's easy to forget. It is, because there was times where, you know, I felt like I would be burdening people if I would come on the chat and talk about, you know, whatever crap I was feeling or going through at that time, because I didn't want to bring anybody down. And I remember, like, this was maybe almost a year ago, and I remember Frank was, you know, he was in that chat that night, you know, and you guys really boosted me up, and I just felt so much better afterwards. So it doesn't take that much, you know. You just have to go in, you know. You just bite the bullet, you know. Push that ego. Don't listen to the ego unless it tells you not to run across the street when a car is coming. But
right, it's got its purpose, but one of them isn't to be aloof and to sort of run off and be alone. I mean, you've got all these people here that love you so much, and they were put in your life for that very reason. So that's why we're here. Everybody has their ups and downs, and you know, you should take advantage of it, because it would suck not to have any. I mean, think about it. I don't know. I can't imagine not having all of you guys. Life would just be completely different if I didn't have all of you. I mean, it would be much more lonely.
Yeah, and these are the things that we have to remember, because when you think about where we were before, when we really were alone, you know, when we were starting to figure these things out, but we were alone. Like, and now we're not. We have to remember that we've had these experiences. We've gotten to know each other for the last couple of years or more, and we've had that connection, or I'm going to call it reconnection, because I really do feel we know each other from other things, right?
Right.
So,
that's the whole 333 number is the reconnect number. That's the hat I'm wearing I got from Frank. He gave it to me and he said the 333 reconnect number. So I'm always thinking about reconnection. And when everybody says, what's 333 about? I had the guy, the security guy that I always see at the gas station. He was like, what's a 333 about? I was like, oh, it's about reconnecting with your higher self. And his reply was, well, at least it ain't 666. And I just laughed.
Oh, it's funny. Oh, but you know what? Speaking of that, I find, and I wrote it before in the chat, I'm finding that people are like accepting things a little easier now. Like, for example, you know, a few months ago, you know, my mom, you know, didn't want to hear too much about me and my new boyfriend, you know, because they were still hurting over the separation and stuff like that. And to just all of a sudden one day, and this is what I mean also about, like, these shifts are happening because we are moving into a higher level of consciousness. And to all of a sudden, my mom was with me visiting a house that Brian and I are looking to buy. You know? So it's like from, yeah, you know, I think this is just a passing thing, you know. I don't think it's, you know, something that's going to be in the future, to like, yeah, we're planning on buying a house together for next summer and stuff. It's just, but besides things like that, I mean, even other things, when we talk a little bit more about the spiritual things, and just like Hope was saying before, things are becoming a little more accepted.
Yeah.
You know, not looked at so much as crazy talk.
Yeah.
Because there's so much of it going on. There's so much of, you know, so much of it being spread. So I think our light working is really working.
I think so too. And it's like, it's across the board, you know, from anything from UFOs and aliens and extraterrestrials to synchronicities. And now people are starting to see them all the time. It's like, oh my gosh, I'm seeing them too. Even my son the other day, he's sitting next to me at the computer and he's like playing his game. And then he pulls his headphones off and he goes, my ear's ringing. What do I do? And I'm like, relax and get used to it. You're probably getting a download or something, son.
Yeah, that happens a lot. And I've also noticed, like, the last few days in meditation, they just seem like they've ramped up, like, in power. Like, I could feel the energy even stronger now. And dreams, I've been having, oh my God, I better not forget this one. Because you were in it. Okay, let me go back into my brain here. Come on. Come back. Remind me of that dream, because I didn't write it down, but I kind of repeated it over and over a few times to remember it. Okay, Shane, you were in there. It was some kind of a meetup, and for some reason we were at my parents' place. There were other people from our group. I just can't find them right now. And I remember my mom was taking care of, like, the reservations for one of the things that we were all going to do. And, oh, jeez. Oh, why didn't I write this down?
Oh, you got to write them down.
Goodness.
Oh,
oh, no, I'm sorry.
No, it's okay. It's like, even Sherry said she had a dream about a meetup. And I'm like, why have I had these 3 in a row? I had these meetup dreams about presentations. And the one was before my presentation. So I thought maybe I was just, thinking about it or being prepared for it or something. But then I had 2 more dreams after it where I wasn't prepared for the presentation, but it was all right. And I ended up not presenting at the second dream. That it ended up being a get together. And me and Eileen had talked about that. We're like talking about doing a conference for the book, or if we should just do a meetup. And we like the idea of a meetup better because everybody can sort of, hang out, and we can do group things, but it's not so scheduled and structured. And so the dream kind of went along with Eileen and I's talk. And then I had this one that the first caller, Hope, had mentioned about, going to this black tie event, and I'm strapping on this fake tuxedo around me and around everybody. And so, yeah, it's just really weird. It's like we're being prepared to get together more, or maybe we're getting together in our dream time, and, and I'm just not realizing it.
Maybe. Oh, I do remember this dream I had like a few days ago. It's so weird. Oh, wait, Shane, yeah. Okay, I just remembered something from the other dream. My grandmother was there also, and she was alive. And so, I'm talking to my grandmother and this and that and whatever. And then I go see you and, man, I wish I could remember who else was there. And then I went, wait a second. I think I just had a Mandela effect. My grandmother died months ago, but I was just with her. So she was like alive in the dream, part of this. Well, she wasn't like part of our meetup, but she was in the dream.
Mm-hmm.
And at one point, I went over to you and whoever was part of our group saying, wait a second, I feel like that was a Mandela effect. You get it?
Yeah, yeah.
So
that's
so
amazing,
that
but that would
weird.
kind of freak me out if I had a personal Mandela effect of somebody being alive again. I don't know how I would take that.
But it was in my dream, so it wasn't in real life.
Right. But I'm just saying that, if my mom or dad popped on the scene, I'd be glad to see them, don't get me wrong, but it probably freak me out for a second.
What the beep?
Right. That would be awesome, though. That would be awesome.
Twilight Zone. Oh,
I think I'd
no
rather
kidding.
get a phone call with their name programmed in. I'm like, what? Why is their name programmed in? Mom, what's this? And
oh, my goodness.
gosh, my heart just sank just to think about getting a phone call from my mom. That's awesome.
Oh, my goodness.
That would be cool. So, you never know.
Yeah, no kidding.
Anything's
And then
possible.
I had a dream that... Sorry?
Oh, I just said anything's possible. Did you lose me?
Oh, you're cutting off.
Oh, you're coming through clear. So I'll let you talk. You had a
Okay.
dream? Continue.
That Brian died and one of my good friends died. But in the dream, but they died at separate times. Well, they were considered dead in the dream.
Mm-hmm.
And I was with her, but she's considered dead to the physical world.
Mm-hmm.
But I was going with her to the transition place. So we were just still hanging out, and I was going to go drive her over to the transition place and then I woke up, I was like, oh my God, what the heck is that,
Mm-hmm.
And then when I really woke up, I went back to sleep, but when I really woke up the next day, and I was like, wow, what could that have meant? And I was thinking, I think it was before the new moon, or there was something that happened last week. I think it was in connection to something, but I remember thinking, oh, maybe, or it was during that blackout, that Schumann blackout thing.
Mm-hmm.
I remember thinking when I woke up and I was conscious, I said, maybe an aspect of them died. And they
Right.
shifted to a higher level of consciousness, to a higher version of themselves.
That's interesting.
Or
'cause-
that maybe I was getting, or that the collective was starting to get used to the idea that physical death and the other realms, there really is no separation.
Mm-hmm.
I was thinking maybe that's what it was meaning. I don't know. I'm not a dream interpreter, but that's kind of like the feeling I was getting. Like maybe because the veil is thinning,
Mm-hmm.
right?
And people
So
are
that there's
seeing through the illusion of death.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because if another dream, like when you dream of somebody dying, normally you're like, you feel like you're more in fear, right, of
Mhm.
losing the person and stuff. But like I didn't wake up super fearful. It was not. It was a natural process in the dream. It was
Yeah.
like, I had to drive her over to, let's say, like a bridge, or it was like a wall, I think, in the water, and you had to take a boat over to the other side to say, oh, okay, look, the physical dead people of the 3D world, their soul is, moving over to this part while the others continue their physical life over here, kind of thing.
Yeah.
But it was like a natural thing, like just crossing the border.
It is like
So
that.
I don't know. I know.
It's more like going overseas or something. You're going to miss them for a while, but you'll definitely see them again. It's definitely
Yes.
not permanent.
That's kind of the feeling I had. It's like, okay, I have to say bye to my good friend, but I'll see you soon,
Yeah.
Like I remember even touching her arm and saying, well, you're not cold yet. But
Yeah.
I was bringing her over to the transition place.
Yeah. And I mean, you can see shedding tears because you're going to miss them, just like you would if, they're going over to live in Europe for a year or two, and you're like, oh, I'm going to miss you so bad.
Yeah.
But it's not forever. It's not a permanent thing at all. It's like, that's why I like the idea of, instead of a funeral, calling it a homegoing, celebration, because it really is like that. It's like they're heading on home, and I'll be joining them.
Yeah.
Everybody's going to be joining them someday. So it's death rate is one per person, right?
Mhm. Oh, my mom too. She had an experience with my grandmother. She said she woke up. It was before waking up. My grandmother was with her. It like appeared to her in her dream, and my mom was hugging her so tight that my grandmother was saying, "Oh, it's too tight. It's too tight," you know. And she remembers, and like when she woke up from it, she had so many tears in her eyes, and she said, but didn't feel like it was tears that she was crying here in this realm. It was like my mom went to the other realm. That's the feeling that she had about it.
Yeah.
But she said she felt so comforted from it because she's been wanting to connect with my grandmother since she passed away. And you remember my BQH, I got to connect with her and was able to give my mom that message, you know, which comforted my mother, but she still felt like she needed to get it from her own mother. And she had seen her mother-in-law 3 times appear to her like years ago after she had passed away. And she, you know, appeared to her, well, kind of in dream state. She looked younger, and she had this really nice dress, and she was like showing my mom the dress, and she's like, kind of like, just came in to say hi, but I gotta go, you know, I'm gonna go meet somebody. So we're assuming that she was gonna go meet her late husband. But so she was hoping that she would have an experience with my grandmother, and she did. So I was so happy to hear that.
Oh, that's awesome. Did you take the BQH course or no?
No, no. I'm not doing nothing. Not doing anything.
I mean, you should think about it. You could do one for your mom. You could do one for Brian. Just, you know.
Yeah.
And then at
I
get-togethers.
don't know. It's not calling me.
Oh, okay.
Nothing's calling me.
Yeah.
I was supposed to do my channel, my YouTube channel, and I'm still like, I don't know where to start. No.
You just follow your heart. Where do you feel like you feel like the YouTube channel is where you're headed? That's where your heart's at?
Well, it's what I've always wanted to get back into. After I ended the vegan channel, I've always meant to go back and talk more about spirituality and, you know, my experiences and what I've learned. And, and it's just, like I even set up my camera the other day and you know, did a practice round.
Yeah.
And I was like, oh, yeah, that's not bad. But I still don't know, like, what my introduction will be, you know, because I want to keep the old stuff and the vegan stuff so, like, people can also see where I came from, the growth, and also for me, because it shows me my evolution, because that's what kind of like threw me open into my awakening, you know.
Yeah. When did you? When were you
industry.
putting stuff out on your channel about vegan stuff? How long ago?
Sorry, when did I do that? What was your question? Oh, when I did that? That was like a few years ago.
Oh, okay.
It was maybe 2015, 2016. Okay. I had it for a good a year and 8 months. Oh, no, sorry. Maybe. Oh, I don't even remember.
I'm blown away that I'm almost
going
on 3 years. It's just flown by, I feel like.
Crazy how the time is flying. Like, if I think back of when I first started to get to know you guys, it's like, my gosh. Like, I know you guys personally now, you know?
Yeah, now we know each other personally. We've hugged each other. We've actually got to talk face to face without a screen between us, and that's so cool.
Yeah.
We've come so far in such a short amount of time.
Yeah, it's super cool. So, you know what I'm doing? I'm just trying to be as present as possible and enjoy each day. Now I'm excited for Christmas. It's probably going to be here at my place again. And Brian and I are hosting. Yay! And then my birthday
in Montreal,
on the 15th,
Canada?
So yep. Yep. Yes, sir. In the cold snow.
Yeah.
And and then we're going to go out to dinner with my sisters and the brother-in-laws, and that's going to be the first. Well, my younger sister did meet Brian once, but this will be like the first official meeting of Brian. I mean, they haven't met him. My family has not met him, and it's 10 months almost we're together.
Wow. Wow.
Crazy.
10 months.
Let me tell you a funny story real quickly. Because I don't know, is anybody on hold?
No, nobody's waiting. You're good.
Okay. Just real quickly, maybe a month ago, I think, things had really settled between me and Chris, he's got a new girlfriend. So, that's cool. That's keeping him busy.
That's what I was thinking.
Keeping him off my tail.
Right.
But the thing is, my mom, he still asks my parents to watch the dog while he goes away. So, he had gone away for a weekend or something with his new girlfriend. And, this is maybe 2 months ago. And I remember when I called... Oh my God. Oh my goodness, should I even tell the story? Okay, I might as well. You guys are already piqued your interest, I'm sure. Anyway, right. So did I know? Yeah, I knew that she was going to take care of the dog, but we were going to a mass for my grandmother's, to a mass, for my grandmother, and I knew that my mom that day when she was going to get home, that was the same day that Chris was going to show up to pick up the dog. And I didn't talk to my mom for a couple of days after that. And then when I called her, I think this was like a full moon day or something. I don't remember. And, or there was something with the Schumann also. Because I called her and she's like, yeah, you should have seen what Chris did. He showed up here with his new girlfriend, comes into the house with her. And my mom said, I told you I wasn't ready to meet any of your new Chiquitas. and she just kind of backed out, my dad had shaken her hand just before that. And then my mom reacted and she kind of backed out of the, took the dog and backed out and went out to the car. And then they kind of had a little argument. And, but they fixed it, they settled the argument and stuff like that. But what's funny, oh God, I mean, the ego is so crazy, right? Is that he says to my mom, he goes, I've been with her for 2 months. It's the real thing. I mean, you've met Brian. And my mom goes, no, I haven't. But the point is that it would be normal that she meets Brian. I'm her daughter,
Right.
So he's trying to justify the fact that, it's okay for him to introduce his new girlfriend because I have introduced my boyfriend to my own parents.
Right.
So it's just weird. Isn't that weird?
Yeah.
That's just so weird. So anyway, they made up and everything was okay. And last week my mom watched the dog again for a week.
Everything's back to normal.
Oh my God. I'm like, how long are they going to do this? I'm like, Mommy. Oh, but the thing is the first time with that story, right? And she didn't get to finish the story. All I heard was her saying, oh, I'm not ready to meet your Chiquitas. I flipped on my mom. I felt terrible. I apologized the next day and stuff like that once I calmed down. But I was fuming and I was like, your loyalty is in the wrong place. And I don't know what took me over, but I was shaking and I had to go drive. I had to cancel my shift at work because I was in no condition. I was emotionally off, and I was driving to meet my friend. We were going to go to the spa, and I'm which was much needed. And I called Brian at work, and I'm flipping out on the phone. I'm telling him the story, and he's trying to calm me down. He's super rational, this guy. And then I think I got mad at him too. I go, well, you guys, you keep putting him in my face, I've moved on with my life. I'm trying to move on with my life. It's already bad enough that I work at the same place with him, that I have to, see him occasionally at work, that now I need to hear it from my parents, of him being there. And I said, and Brian, you too, because you still go play pool with him. And then you come back to me to tell me things about him. I'm like, what are you doing? So once I calm down, he says, no, you're right. It's more Chris, because the people like to go out to play pool after work. I do too, because I love playing pool and I'm doing really good. And but it's never on the same nights that Chris is there. And on the nights that he's working, he likes to go out to play pool with the guys. But it always ends up being, well, not anymore. I mean, this was a few months ago. It would always be Brian and a couple of the other guys. And, you know, Chris talks with Brian now. You know, he would give him a dirty look for many, many months, but now he talks with him. And, you know, he even told him that he would take me back. Like, how can you tell Brian this? Brian's like, what? After all this time that she's been with somebody else, you would, you know, I mean, so weird. So like I flipped. I'm like, you know, I don't want to hear any more stories. I don't want to hear, like, if you go play pool with him, if you guys are a gang, okay, cool. But I mean, if it just ends up being a small group, I'm like, you know, don't go. Or at least just, I don't want to hear anything he has to say, you know, because it was so toxic. It took me so long to get out of that, you know. So it was like somebody who's an addict, and you keep bringing the drug in front of the addict, you know, a recovering addict.
Yeah.
It's like my mom coming, you know, my mom telling me stories about, oh, this is what happened with his uncle. I'm like, what? This is my past, you know. Can I move on, please?
Right.
Anyway.
It's like you're moving on, but they're not moving on, right?
Yeah, and then they keep bringing it in, you know. It's like, man, I've been detoxing from this for like a while now, you know.
Yeah.
But the other day, I'll say I've come, you know, I'm in a really good place because it was the first time that we were working in sections not very far from each other. Because on the nights that we do work on the same night, we're on different floors, so we just pass each other in the kitchen. But this time we were on the same floor. I had to pass this section the whole night, and I was at peace. I mean, and I think he was too, because we were able to, you know, just pass by each other, and, you know, no cringe, no tense muscles, no thoughts in my head. It was just, I felt peaceful because I think I finally came to a place where, man, I'm in such a good place right now. I am surrounded with so many good things, good people, good energy. Well, I work on it too, right? Because you have to do the work too, right? To stay in that high vibe place. It's not always easy, but I recognize that, you know, and I recognize how far I've come and how much I've evolved, and that's, you know, past is the past.
Yeah. And the present is even better.
Totally. Yeah. Yep. So those are my updates.
Thank you so much. It's been too long, Nancy.
Yeah, I'm so glad I got to talk to you guys before the holidays too.
Absolutely, yeah. Gosh, it's hard to believe it's almost December. I'm looking at the day and I'm like, oh my gosh, December. A couple days away.
Couple days away.
A few weeks away after that. Then in the new year. We haven't even planned any kind of New Year get together this year. I guess we're gonna take a break this year or something. I know we've only had two Tulsa get-togethers. We had one, and of course the 11/11 was the first one. We had another one at the end of January, but we haven't. You know, we were so busy with ESETI and then this other thing, and then now the year's gone. I'm like, oh my gosh.
No, my next one now, because will be, I guess, in August. I don't know if we're going to do ESETI, or I know that we were talking about Savannah, Georgia, but. That'll be my next one because I've got a lot of things going on here too. I've got to take a trip with Brian. You know, we're gonna go away for the first year anniversary in January. You know.
Yeah, and I bet you probably want to be alone for that one, right?
Yes, sir.
Well, you'll have to bring him to one of the group meetups at some point.
Oh no, for sure. I mean, I'll be around definitely.
Yeah.
All right, so let me leave this up for somebody else to talk.
Awesome. Lots of love to you.
I love you, Shane.
I love you too, Nancy.
I love you, Shane. I love all of you guys.
Yeah, everybody's loving you in the chat too.
Big hugs. Big hugs, kisses. So much love and light to all of you. I love you.
Love you. Thank you for bringing that high vibe energy.
Oh, good. I hope you guys felt it.
Oh, totally.
Love you all. I'm going into the chat.
Okay. Love you. Bye.
Love you. Bye.
Awesome. That was Not So Fancy Nancy. I like to call her Fancy Nancy. And I think BQH, even if you don't want to do it as a profession or be a practitioner, I mean, for $333, actually with the discount that you get from entering that code in the description box, it's only $300. It's just nice to have. Maybe you can give it away as a Christmas gift or something. You never know. Although, I would caution against doing it to doing people that aren't awake and aware. It seems like people kind of, I don't know, connect in with wherever they're at. I've had one experience where it just seemed like I was sort of bouncing around in the person's subconscious, you know. So I really think people connect in wherever they're at, but they get what they need, I feel like. But I feel like the information's way more reliable when the person's really on their path, really trying to grow. But that's just, you know, I'm trying to go off of experience, but the truth of the matter is each session, even with the same people, each session is completely different. It's just a whole different experience every single time, and I'm just mind blown that things can be so dynamic when it comes to BQH or QHHT sessions. BQH, so anybody that's sort of hopping in here knows it's beyond quantum healing. But anybody who is interested in a BQH session can actually just drop me an email and let me know. Let's see if we have anybody hopping in here. I probably only got about 10 minutes because I've got to head out anyway, but we might have time for a quick caller if anybody wants to call in. And I'm so glad I made it through the night. I know I had some instances where the internet sort of might have popped out a little bit, but I just got a thunderstorm warning right before I went live, and I'm like, oh my goodness, I hope I don't get knocked off. So it's been good. I'm so glad that I've been able to stay connected and not get too distracted by the weather. I haven't even heard anything. But let's see here. Hope you guys enjoyed that meditation. Check it out. It was probably one of the most difficult editing jobs I've ever done because I kept listening to it and trying to time out the breathing, and it all worked out all right, but I kept getting in a deep meditative state, and that's strange to get in a deep meditative state from your own video, but I was already going through one of those waves of heaviness where you just feel so tired and so beat and worn out and everything, and so listening to the meditation on top of that, I had to take like a 20-minute nap, and then I got up and was able to finish it, and I'm like, oh my gosh, I got to start the show. So that's why I uploaded it like 10 minutes before the love stream was supposed to start. So I'm staying busy with the holidays, busy with the energies, but keep your head up, guys. If you're dealing with fear, try out the meditation. If you're dealing with depression, try out the meditation, and you can actually use the concepts. Those are actually the concepts I use for myself, and I just say it in my mind. Those are the things just periodically throughout the day, I'll do a shortened version of that where I imagine what, the golden light coming down, the iridescent light, and sort of get my vibes up throughout the day. And it's not near as heavy. So if it's sleepy for you guys, I apologize. Just take the idea and just use it with your internal dialogue of your voice and keep your vibes up. Don't let the world get you down. Don't let the world get you depressed. And for sure, don't let the world have you in fear or worry, because in the moment is where it is all at. Where are we at here? 2:04? 2 hours and 4 minutes. I guess I will cut this one short, you guys, since I got to get off in a few minutes anyway. And we will be back tomorrow, Eileen and I. So look forward to that tomorrow night, and we will put our power of intention together to change the world for the better. Lots of love and light to each and every one of you. Have a good one. If you'd like to support the work I do, go to paypal.me/UOTF. Thanks.